All right, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us. My name is Christian Martin of Christian Martin and Associates, a sport and technology consultancy firm, partner of the upcoming SportIn Global Summit. To tell you a little bit more, the SportIn Global Summit is a three-part virtual event bringing together the greatest minds in the sport industry from all across the world, where they're going to talk about data and the future of the industry. It will all be kicking off on Wednesday, August 26th. Today, I'm joined by one of the event speakers. His name is Scott Jablonski. He is the CEO and founder of 77 Analytics LLC, a consultancy practice using data to help both corporations and startups make strategic business decisions. Previously, Scott worked with StubHub as the GM, overseeing the NFL, NBA, and NHL segments. He has received his MBA from the Harvard School of Business in General Management. Scott, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks, Christian. Great to be with you.
Awesome. So we're just going to dive into it here. First of all, tell us just more specifically, like, what are you up to in the world of sport?
Yeah, so I've been in the world of sports now for 13 or 14 years. And in the last 5, I've actually been consulting a lot. This all came out of a cross-country move. I was living in New York City for a while where all of the sports leagues are concentrated, and I worked at 2 of those sports leagues. My wife worked in the sports world as well. And in 2015, we moved to San Francisco, California. And in that move, I ended up connecting with the ownership of one NHL team who said, hey, why don't you stay with us in New York and come work with us full time? And I was like, we're already planning to move across country. So they said, how about you consult with us? And I was like, hey, that's a good idea. And that really began this practice where now I've worked with 20 different companies, both inside and outside of sport, working on strategy, finance, analytics. So it's been a lot of fun. And that's what I've been doing full time now for the last 1.5 years since departing from.
Awesome. That sounds exciting. And, tell us a little bit about your entrance into the industry. Like, what was your first job? What was that like?
Yeah. So I was at Harvard Business School from 2005 to 2007. And it's the most humbling experience because no matter how great you think you are or how much you've accomplished, you meet people who just run rings around you. And because you're in that environment, a lot of people sit there and say, well, maybe, I've always done X for a job or a role or a career. Maybe I should think about doing Y or Z or something else. So when I was in business school, I thought hard about, hey, I'm spending a lot of money on this degree. What's an industry that I really enjoy partaking in, being a viewer of, and maybe even being behind the scenes of? And I kept coming back to sports entertainment. So to answer your question, technically my first job was with the National Basketball Association in 2007 upon graduation. Where I worked in their TMBO group, TMBO, for team marketing and business operations. And I was heading up all the analytics around all the data the teams send the league, and then the league helps the teams with ticketing and sponsorship and premium and all that. But technically my first entree into sports was actually in business school, where I met someone from the Boston Bruins in the summer of 2006. We started an academic project together. So that really started things off. And I was working with the Bruins in Boston to look at ticketing and pricing. And that grew into a larger project my final semester with the National Hockey League. And then upon graduation, I took the full-time job at the National Basketball Association.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for sharing that with us. And then lastly, we want to know, like, a little sneak peek. What are you going to be talking about at the summit?
Sneak peek. So we're in this 100-year flood right now with COVID-19 and the pandemic. And we're seeing it around the world, obviously. We're seeing the stopping of sports. We're seeing the restart of sports, but with no fans. Now we're starting to see some events with some fans, but still, there was just some soccer matches in France where they had 5,000 people in an 80,000 person Stade de France. So it's starting to come back, but there's so much fretting and worry around this for a very, very good reason. I would like to focus on maybe the positives and the opportunities that are coming out of COVID-19. So when we look at the people, the processes, and the technology that these rights holders need, the venues need, the leagues need, I think there are pockets of opportunity. And if given the right foresight in terms of, hey, what's the need out there and how do we reinvent things? I think that's a real opportunity. So I'm going to be talking about that in our upcoming presentation.
All right. Well, we really look forward to it. Thank you for being with us here, Scott. Again, for everyone watching, the SportIn Global Summit is going to be on August 26th, and you can find information about it at sportinglobal.com. Go ahead and register yourself, and we look forward to seeing you there. Thanks for your time again, Scott.
Thanks, Christian. Appreciate it.